All right, let's dive into a concept that is, honestly, a lifesaver for anyone working on a team project. We're talking about something called version control and a little bit of magic known as branching. Oh man, does this look familiar? I think we have all been there. You know, you're working on something important, and your project folder just explodes into total chaos. You're trying so hard not to delete good work. It's just messy and, honestly, super stressful. Well, this is the exact problem that professionals had to solve. And their solution? It's something called a version control system. And really, the best way to think about it is right here. It is like a time machine for your project. Instead of all those confusing file names, you get this perfect, clean history of every change, letting you jump back to any version you want with like a single click. That's the big idea. Okay, so let's get a little more formal for a second. A version control system, or VCS, and the most popular one by far is called Git, is basically software that just watches your project folder. Every single change, every save, every little tweak, it's all tracked and recorded. This entire history, the whole life story of your project, gets stored in one central place called a repository, or repo for short. Now, inside that repo lives the single source of truth for your project. This is the official version, the one that actually works, the one that customers see. And in the world of version control, we call this the master branch. You have to think of it like the final published copy of a book. It is sacred, and it needs to be protected at all costs. And that protection brings us to what is, no joke, the single most important rule in all of collaborative development. This isn't just a suggestion. It's the core principle that prevents absolute chaos on a team. And here it is, the golden rule. You never work directly on the master branch. Ever. Why? Simple. Because if you make one little mistake while you're editing master, you could break the entire project for everyone on your team. It's like trying to fix a car's engine while it's speeding down the highway. Just don't do it.
And this just lays it out perfectly. Look at the difference. Working on master is incredibly risky. It affects everybody, and it can bring the whole project to a grinding halt. But there's a safe way, and that's working on something called a branch. It's totally isolated. It's your private little sandbox, and it protects the main project from any mistakes you might make while you're figuring things out.
So you're probably thinking, okay, if I can't touch the master branch, how do I get any work done, right? Well, this is where developers get their superpower. It's this really elegant solution called branching, and it gives every single person their own safe personal workspace. So what is a branch? It's really just an independent copy of the project. When you create a branch, you're basically saying, hey, give me a perfect snapshot of the project as it exists right now. I'm going to take that copy over here into my own little corner and work on my new idea without any fear of messing up the original. And the benefits are just huge. First, you get isolation. Your work in progress is totally separate from everybody else's. This is what allows for parallel development. You can have the entire team working on tons of different features all at the same time, each in their own safe branch. And what if your brilliant new idea turns out to be not so brilliant? No problem. You just delete the branch. Poof, it's gone. No harm, no foul. It's like crumpling up a rough draft that nobody else ever even knew existed. Okay, so we get the what and the why. Now let's see how this all comes together. Let's look at a simple, everyday workflow that teams use to get things done safely. It really boils down to 4 basic steps. First, you create your new branch from master. Step 2, you check out that branch, which is just a fancy way of saying you're switching over to your safe copy to start working. 3, you do your work. And as you go, you save little snapshots of your progress called commits. Then finally, number 4, when your work is all done and tested, you merge it back into the master branch. Now, on a team, this last step usually involves a review process, but the main idea is combining your finished work back into the main project safely. Which brings us to our final question. You followed all the rules, you built your amazing new feature in the safety of its own branch, and it works perfectly. But now what? How do you actually propose those changes to the rest of your team and get them approved so they can become part of the official master branch? Well, that's a great question, and it's exactly what we'll cover next time.